What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Another edition of the Poetry Corner. We're in 2023. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Well, that is the foundation. Let's talk. So I'm just still happy to be here since 2020. Now, I mean, we've been standing our ground, walking in light, bumps and bruises, but we still here. So, and thanks to all you out in the Poetry Corner universe. Tonight we have Poetic Van Meadows, one half of the Poetry Corner Eastside Connection. We have the producer Q in the building. I mean, we have Sister Monet, who is joining the family. As every other Thursdays, King's Dream pop up. She'll soon be my co-host rocking with the family. So, how y'all doing out there?
Doing good. Right. Doing good. How you feeling?
What up?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. It's a new year. Yes, new year, new feelings, new emotion. Might be new emojis, but we good out here, man. Thank you.
I know. I know. I'm your guest, but I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I know what type of show that you want to do tonight, but I want to ask you as a question as a co-host of three shows: Poetry Corner Eastside Connection, and Poetry Corner Westside Connection with Verses and Vibes. You're also a member of Verses and Vibes as well. Explain all three shows and what all three shows are about and how they differ from each other.
Okay. Poetry Corner, that's the house. That's the foundation. So when we flipped the script and started having King's Dream, that was the highlight. One of the poets coming through who's doing a lot of things out there. So it's not just the books, they might be performing or whatsoever. So I follow spirit and just see where I want to guide myself to pick out one of these poets. So it's been a beautiful thing in transition. So now Poetry Corner Eastside Connection, it's more like the barbershop talk with my brother here, Poetic. I mean, it was coming along good. I wanted to have that different from the house. I mean? So we talk that talk, might spit some poetry, depending upon how the conversation is going. We might just fall back from the poetry and just talk that talk.
So I'm gonna ask you on Poetic to just to ask you about that particular show because I did get a couple people that were really intrigued by the show and the dynamic of the show and some of the discussions that you guys have been talking about. How do you guys think that show is going? Is it going in the direction y'all want it to go, or do y'all got some real good things going into the new year and be like, yo, we could really take it a step further?
One thing I talked to King about when it comes to that show is sometimes it's nice to have a show that's unscripted, right? And a lot of times the show will present itself if you just listen to everything that's going on around you, because we live in a digital age. We live in an atmosphere where everything is fair game. Everybody wants to talk about stuff, right? So we listen and we hear. And if somebody say something, I'll be like, hey, yo, Q, let's go ahead and rock out with this. Last week's show was not my doing. Or I'm sorry, this week's show was not my doing, was not his doing. It was Sister Monet. She the one that said she sent us the topic. And we were like, that's gonna be good. So that show was kind of unscripted for a reason. Now I'm gonna tell you, the name of the show, or when we tell you what the show is about, is going to draw you in. But once you get there, you get locked in and you get stuck because it's so much deeper than that. Because we're more than just poets. We are people. We are human beings. We all need to be healed. We all go through hurts. We all go through pains. We all have emotions. And just because we men don't mean that we are not emotional. Doesn't mean that we don't go through stuff. We might not talk about it a lot. But listen, we are here for it, and that's what this show. Man, this show going to expose a whole lot of things. So I'm 2023.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. You guys showed yesterday. It's hard for a lot of people to be as transparent and as honest about some of the things in their past because a lot of times we have blocked it out and we say we want to move on and so forth and so on, and just not think of that as negative stuff and bring it into a new year,
Right.
think about positivity. However, one of the things that I benefit from sitting back and watching and seeing everybody, seeing the chat before basically you guys see what's in the chat is I believe that middle aged people are really trying to figure out relationships, not only just the man woman relationship, but far as man to man relationship, far as brothers, women to women relationship, far as sisters, men and women having a relationship that's not sexual, just as friends.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I notice is everybody's trying to figure it out. Nobody's saying they have the answers, but it's like all right, I'm gonna dip my feet in the water a little bit, but I don't want to put too much, or I don't want to put too much on the table. One of the things this week that I noticed it was a question was, do people lie? Do people lie about their background when they meet people? And my reply was, I don't think people intentionally lie. I think that people just hold back out of fear, hold back out of contentment, and not knowing. And one thing you guys show has been doing is having letting women know that men do have these type of conversations a lot of times privately in that barbershop. So you guys are taking it to that lounge barbershop feel with you guys Monday night show and allowing people to be in, allowing women to be in, and wanting women to be part of the discussions. I know Sister Monet has been part of the discussion the last 2 weeks, and I know that you guys welcome that and welcome it going forward. So I think that you guys' show is a little unique in a way, and I hope that people will tune in and understand what you guys are trying to accomplish and help you guys reach a goal. Help us as a community because, as they say, as the man goes, the family goes. As the
Right.
family goes,
Yes,
the
sir.
community goes. As the
Sir.
community goes, the nation goes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, it's very important that we understand that, as they say, the healing process starts with each other.
Yes.
Facts. True
Absolutely.
indeed.
Absolutely.
So
Man,
I'm happy about everything though. You know what I mean, how it's been going in that direction.
good,
And
good.
there'll be some changes made too, also to well not to Poetry Corner. So I'm working on a couple of kinks and navigating just a whole different vibe. 2023. I feel special about this year. You know what I mean? This the I call this the Michael Jordan year.
Mm.
Can we
What
go into year 3?
when he retired, you know what I'm saying? Number 23 retired, you know what I'm saying? Then he
Yeah.
went into other things.
King
So,
is King is like the Biggie line. You didn't know
so
poetry could take it this far, huh?
word.
I
But
mean, I mean, King.
no, serious though.
I
But
know, I know. You always say when we have conversations in public and in private, and you always tell people how Poetry Corner started. Is this what you envisioned, or like when I said to you, like, "Cuz you should just do a show," like
yeah,
did
nah,
you?
I didn't know it was gonna go here to be at this
Mm,
level. Even with me writing books, when I didn't think that's why I said the Michael Jordan thing because I'm working on my last poetry book, which is gonna be number 23. So I
nice.
just feel like I'm having a Jordan moment. You know what I mean? And then I'm just
Right.
gonna move into
Right.
recording and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, the last.
So King, tell us about what are you guys are doing with Versified. I know that we had a production meeting, as you
Yeah,
would say.
my with verses and vibes, and when that's a dope uh group of poets. You know what I mean? I just feel proud and happy to be a part of what they stand for. Everybody got their own unique style, and they doing some special things out there in Los Angeles. And one of the Drea should be coming in, or Ebony should be coming in a little later. They behind, handling life out there. We're on two different coasts, so
I didn't I
but
didn't know the poetry community was this big. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I
yeah,
was real naive. I was real naive a couple of years ago. Now I knew it's a poetry circuit North Jersey got a lot of poets that I knew about, and so I know a couple poets, and I got a friend that actually used to do like poetry slams until he had focused on his job, on his part-time job. And I'm starting to see that, yo, it's really a lot of poets. And then, like, with the virtual aspect jumping in since the pandemic,
Yeah.
you really see a lot of people jump on the scene, like Sister Monet.
Yeah, it's powerful out here. And with the Los Angeles division, it's so much going on that I can't even really cross elaborate. I will have one of the teammates have to throw that out there, but they doing great out there. I mean, I don't even have to be right there because we all on the same page and they just handling their business. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm so proud of, with that. You know what I'm saying? Like the West Side Connection. I mean, them two women, they doing beautiful things out there. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we over here on the East Coast, but I got my brother right here, and that's why I asked him to be a part of the East Side Connection because, I rock with the Radio Epiphany family also with my own show, King and Queen's Quarters, on Monday nights right after our show. So it's just been a perfect combination. You know what I'm saying? Like that brotherly bond and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate him coming to the table with me like, yo, all right, you got it, man. And yo, this been
and,
live, man. I'm
and,
telling you.
And poetic, I know you how you move. You kind of move in silence. A lot of stuff that you do, and don't really tell a lot of people what you do. But you're the station manager at Epiphany. Explain that experience and what you've been doing and how like everything's just evolving. And as a station manager, you have to basically what you have to do to make sure things are running smooth.
Well, I mean, it's not an easy task. You know, I love managing people. I love it, and the difference about this management is giving everybody the autonomy to be creative because we're all poets. You know, I don't direct the shows. I'm just there in the background. You know, I'm there as a host as well as a poet because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of poetry. I love it. You know, if my blood would run throughout my veins, it would all be poetic verses. That's how ingrained in poetry I am. But as a station manager, it's fun, man. I really enjoy doing it because from when I first came to Epiphany Radio as a host, I mean, I hosted on one show that very same week. He was like, for real, the poet, Arthur Larry Maddox, CEO of Epiphany Radio. He gave me the keys. He said, "Here, I'm gonna give you the keys." They only had two shows. They had a show on Sunday and they had a show on Monday. I'm like, man, we're a radio station. Why we ain't got shows every day of the week? So I've been working behind the scenes to create shows for every day of the week. Starting with me, I did my show on Fridays, and now we have shows every days of the week. And some weeks, some days we have more than one show on alternating weeks. So keeping it all together, I'm a perfectionist and keeping it all together. I keep it all together in my head. When I do the lineup and the rundown of the shows, they're like, how do you have this all memorized? Well, it's fun. I love it. The other thing is as a station manager, if there's a hole anywhere, you should be able to fill it. So any one of the shows, Sunday through Saturday, I can go in and I can host that show like the host do it because I pay attention to their style. I pay attention to what they do. I pay attention to how it runs. And it has been a journey, man. And I'm thankful and I'm blessed at the same time to be able to manage the station, keep everybody together, host my own shows, co-host another show with John Robinson, aka J. Rob the Wise Son. Shout out to my brother. So where we're going, because Epiphany Radio is a outlet for the poets, outlet for the people, and that's what we stand for. Without them, there is no Epiphany Radio, and that's what every platform should be about, the people, because the people make the platform. And if you don't have any people, you don't have a platform. So you got to be able to listen, to understand, and that's what we do, man. And I told the family, I said, I do what's in the best interest of Epiphany Radio because Epiphany Radio is bigger than just us, the host. It's about the people that choose to take their time, call in, and spit. I mean, we got shows for 2 hours at a clip, And then there's an extra hour. It'd be 3 hours. I mean, you know how many people call in and sit there and listen and spit for 3 hours, man. It is incredible to have that kind of energy and everybody just be entertained, man. And just to be a part of something like that, man. I'm honored and I'm blessed and I'm excited about where we're going.
So, Sister Monet, you don't have to be ashamed of your cat. Your cat is part of the show.
I don't do cats. This is a dog. Her name
Oh,
is her
Okay.
name is Lady.
oh,
She's a
okay.
black lab. We black
Oh,
everything over here.
well, she
I
could
know
be.
that's right.
She could definitely be part of the show. I know that you had been on the Poetry Corner a couple times.
Mhm.
You joined the show East Side Connection the last 2 weeks, and I know that it's some things that you and King are working on behind the scenes, as well as this is different for you. But what is your vision of what you intend to bring to the King's pop up?
Well, I mean, you guys kind of like touched on it. Just the transparency. I wrote down a few words. The transparency, vulnerability. Relatability. Um, just a handful of just trying to come through and heal. Like for the past 2 years, we going into the third year. We in this pandemic, and I'm for sure there's a lot of poetess and poets who've been sitting at home, like they say, in a lab or whatever. Like a lot of people are ready to come out. And I'm not talking about, I love the LGBTQ community, but I'm just talking about come out in general. I've been writing since I was 12. I'm almost 40 years old. And I'm just coming out of my shell, like literally just starting to blossom. And, my friend, I believe it was your cousin who put me on and was like, yeah, let's try it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. And then I'm not going to lie, I grew an addiction to it. And I was like, my writing flourished. Um, with everything that I'm going through, what people have gone through in the pandemic, just the wordplay. I'm for sure there's other wordsmiths out here. I'm for sure that there are other, you know, even though it's poetry, I know that there's other people who can, sing. I know that there's other writers out here. Like it's just going to, I just hope that it saves somebody, that it heals somebody and it gives them that outlet because it was an outlet for me. I may have walked around looking like I was all right, trying to keep a smile on my face. But at the end of the day, it's like when I read my poetry back, like it's just a different level of excitement to see that somebody can relate to what I have written, and it ultimately has healed people. It has, like, our words mean a lot. Our words carry a lot of weight. So I'm hoping that in the future, um it just does something for somebody. It's just a vibe, just the connectivity. And people are not just sitting here in a dark room by themselves. Like there's some form of connectivity.
Mm.
You
King,
jumping?
Let me ask you a question, King.
Yeah.
In the 3 years that you started Poetry Corner, which is amazing that 3 years is coming up.
Yeah,
What did I
no.
think? February 1st, or I think March 1st. When
No,
the
I think
world when the world
oh,
got put on punishment.
oh yeah, yeah.
Ha- what is what is some of the biggest things that you've been frustrated with? Like I know from my perspective, from just a producer perspective, I've gotten to know a lot of poets. But what is some of the and so I have my own personal frustration. What is some of the frustrations that you believe you've had to deal with, King?
No call, no show.
Mm.
Mm.
In Leighton terms, person last minute go, oh, I can't make it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so then I had to recalibrate my mind to go, okay, have a backup plan. So I learned to be able to it could just be two poets on the show. It could be three. It could just be one strong poet, and the show would be phenomenal. Not taking away from nobody else, but if you got some things going on, there might just be, a way you might not be able to show up. Give me a heads up. You know what I mean? Don't wait till the last minute, because then it's like, okay, now I gotta go. Luckily, I go off willpower a lot, and I just like, okay, we just have to flip it like this. You know what I'm saying? But it can be frustrating sometimes. In the beginning, it was, because I didn't know how to really navigate around that. I'd be kind of pissed off a little bit.
Take it personal?
Yeah. I'll be feeling kind of Drake-ish a little bit. You know what I mean? But but I just learned to like navigate around that. I was like, okay, things happen in life. It is what it is. So move a little differently. You know what I mean? So, just be like, and then somebody probably like, I'm here. I'm like, well, the door's already open. You know what I mean? So I'll see you next week. And I wasn't ever afraid to say that. You know what I mean? You can't look at me, this kind of shady prep. No, like this is what it is. The show already started. This is a production. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you got something going on, just give a heads up. You know what I mean? The show with love.
Poetic, I'm quite sure as station manager at Epiphany, you've dealt with that numerous of times. Because like King says, the show must go on. You have an audience that's expecting Epiphany to start at a certain time every week, every day. Let me ask you a question, Poetic, and I want to know from a poet's standpoint. Have you ever seen, and I don't want you to say which poet it is. Have you ever seen so much greatness in a poet, but they BS with their talent?
Oh man. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I won't say their name, but this person has so much potential, but they allow their life, their health to get in the way of their pen. And I get it. I get it. Life happens. Life happens. But for you, when life happens, that's when you should be writing the most. Because, a lot of when I write a lot of pieces, if you ever hear me coming from a place of pain, that's because life happened. I don't have that pain anymore, but that's where I was. So I'm able to dip back into it. And this poet, man, she is amazing as a poet. When she goes in, she goes in. But she allow her life to dim her pen. And sometimes it'll take a word or something, that I send an encouragement to see if she'll come out of her shell. And sometimes when she does stuff, I just be like, yo, that is so dope. That is so awesome. I mean, and but it happens, man. It happens. And I can think of a lot of poets that really will give up. When life hits them hard, they give up. And life hit me
I
up.
always, from a non-poet standpoint, looking at poets as artists, same as actors, same as singers, and so forth and so on. And having that talent, having that much talent, and being able to deal with their inner depression, inner life, inner what going on, and you sit and you be like, how can a person be tormented but be so talented? So I've learned not to get so frustrated, because I used to call King and be like, yo, I don't understand, because for me, as a person that's not a poet, I've been able to meet a lot of you guys, and I think the sky's the limit. I always try to give people stories about poets that people think are not poets, but they done made it famous doing something else, but their origin was poetry. So I'll be sitting back and I'll be like, man, I don't think people realize what they got. You got to get serious. And it's like, then what grounds me is I need to understand that the artist is burdened.
Yeah.
The artist is burdened. Now, I can say, you're not going to have a burden on you that you can't bear. I can say that, and you may believe it.
Right.
But some people, that burden of being normal, the burden of being a parent, burden of being a husband, burden of being a wife, burden of being a mother, father, a child, an uncle, or an aunt, and having that much talent
Mm.
can break someone.
Yeah.
It's like that gift and the curse theory.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
True.
and I've talked to King about it numerous times, and luckily, from from a producer's perspective, usually when I talk to him about it, it might be him being frustrated and I'm the calming ear, or I'm frustrated and he's the calming ear. I know it could be very, very hard because you come across so many people and so much talent come through your ear, and you know it when you hear it.
Mm.
Not saying all poets don't have talent,
Right.
but sometimes somebody just has that, oh shit, subject matter, that ear, that voice. They know how to change their voice, the tones, and you be
Right.
like, "How long you been writing?
Right.
You
Right.
sure?
That part.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?"
Yeah.
And because you got some people that can't speak about current events, that's not their thing, but they can speak
Mhm.
erotic and have your mind all twisted in their matrix.
Right.
And
Mhm.
then it might be vice versa, where somebody could speak about current events and they just is not into erotic. So um, I find that to be very, very interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
and one thing is, it's always good to be a student of the game. You know what I mean? Never feel like you're too big for your bridges or this, that, and the other. Like I said
Humility.
to Poe plenty of times, him and J Rob, like I learned from a lot of them guys. You know what I mean? Like since the beginning of the poetry corner, just interacting with them and just uh releasing myself. You know what I mean? I was holding my own self back in the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know I can go different ways with my poetry, but I just like, I ain't going that direction. You don't want to show the emotional part or this, that, the other. I was trying to be a tough guy, but I was like, nah, but I flourished. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I appreciate them guys, you know what I'm saying? All those epiphanies, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, yo, I'm here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go any direction,
Right.
anytime, right anywhere. It ain't gonna take me long.
And-
But
and
especially having content. You know what I mean?
One of the things that I love when I come across somebody and they say they got writer's block. I love when somebody tell me that. And I will tell them flat out, you don't have writer's block. You just decided not to write.
Mhm.
Because there is a lot in your life going on around you that you could write about. You're just making a choice not to write.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
So, and as far as I always challenge myself. A lot of people don't know this, but every time I write a new piece, the challenge for me is to make that piece better than my last piece. Always. Always.
Indeed.
It doesn't matter what I write, what genre I write in. My goal is to make that piece better than the last one I wrote. Because quite honestly, I write enough where you might not hear the same piece twice. And if you do hear the same piece twice, that's just because I've gotten lazy and I haven't had time to write.
That's facts.
And another thing, like with myself, when I refuse to let myself fall into darkness. If I'm in that cave, I'm gonna explore options to just shine like the morning sun.
Yes, sir.
No matter how I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? That's why they say I could write something that's really kind of like a Debbie Downer, but at the same time, you switch the flow and the cadence up, and people like this, yo, you heard what he said? Like, yo, that joint sound dope. But I might have wrote like, because I was feeling tired and a lot of shit on my mind. But when it's time to show up, like I'll go over it and be like, okay.
I can adjust that.
Yeah, and I learned how to, put different words in there that's not even on the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And improvise. You know what I'm saying? I've done that many times on the show.
Yeah.
Even on
You guys have a question. You guys have a question.
Okay.
From Miss Farrow.
Hey, Miss Farrow.
Hello, Miss Farrow. How you doing? Spoken words in the same category as poetry. I'm gonna give that to poetic.
All right. Spoken word, in my humble opinion, is poetry with theatrics. A spoken word poet has the ability to use poetry and articulate in such a way that they draw you into what they're saying, whether it be cadence, whether it be tone, whether it be wordplay, whether it be body language, whether it just be them spitting off the top of their dome. So yes, spoken word is if you want, spoken word is a genre of poetry. Rap is a genre of poetry. So if you want to really break it down, yes, R&B music is a genre of poetry. Because if you listen to the songs, they're very poetic. There's some songs that I listen to and give me inspiration to write more poetry. But yeah, spoken word is definitely poetry. It's just the theatrical side of poetry. Like sometimes you might see, if you ever see me do a piece where I'm real animated about it, and I get really in my feelings about it. One of them pieces is my piece.
I know a piece that is very intimate to your heart.
That's the one. That's
Brother to the Night.
Yeah. I mean, what my man say? He say, baby, can I be your slave? I got to admit, girl, you're the shit, girl, and I'm digging you like a grape. Who am I? Man, don't get me started. That's like my favorite movie of movies, right? Get me started.
That joint is tough though.
But man, spoken word, man, I love spoken word. You know, most of the time, spoken word is often used in battle poetry. You know, slam poetry. Yeah. You know, I'm not a slam poet. You know, I don't get it because I refuse to use my pen to vilify another person for the sake of likes.
Right.
So yeah, but spoken word is definitely poetry. It's just it's that make you want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, say that.
Snap. Snap, crackle, pop.
Great question.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Thanks
for that answer, though.
Anybody else want to chime in?
Sister Monet, let me ask you a question, Sister Monet. What poet inspired you the most?
Myself.
Come on, girl. Come on.
Okay.
Explain.
Because I lived it, and it hit home the most. I've been writing since '96. I still got what was the name of the paper? The dot paperwork, the little paper with the joints on the side, the holes. I still got it. Wait a minute. Let me see if I still got it. I still got it. That was my first poem I ever wrote. I lie to you not.
Miss Farrell said
the first poem.
You're welcome, Miss Farrell.
Y'all see this?
You're welcome.
Wow.
You see with the dots on the joint?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the first poem I ever wrote.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So it's it's a lot of inspiration.
King, a lot of people don't know. You said it, but maybe they may not remember. Rakim inspired you.
Right.
What was it? We know that Rakim, as anybody that follows his music knows that he comes from a jazz background.
Right.
What was it about Rakim that separated him from everybody else?
Because I come from a music family. You know what I mean? Singers, they play instruments and everything like that. So when I heard him speak about it falls in the same place with the last poets Mr. Abio doing. When you listen to the beat, the melody, the rhythm, the bass, and you just ride that and you lock that in your head. You know, up in Harlem, people used to be beating on drums, the people out there. So I got magnetized by it. So when I heard how he switched his flow up and he pick up on the cadences and the words and, you know, back in there, I used to be able to freestyle real good. So we'd be out in the corner just freestyle and have ciphers. You know what I'm saying? So I was amazed and highly influenced by him. You know what I mean? Not taking nothing away from like Kumo D or Melly Mel, but Rakim is just the style, the way to put words together. And it's just like, but paying attention to the music. I could listen to something right now. Someone could be playing, it could be meditation sounds. And I still adapt to it and I just go in a certain way. It'd probably be a poem. You know what I'm saying? So I just studied the cadences and everything. I mean, like I said, Big Daddy Kane a little bit too, but Rakim, that was the one that hit me harder. I mean, it's like, yo, he's the God MC.
Right,
Like,
right.
But a lot of people don't know, like you can be influenced by sound. That's why I say I'm a sound master. It could be water drops mixed with something else when I write just right there. You know what I mean? Because sound, I've learned to train myself to listen to adapt to sound. You know what I mean? So
that's what's up.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Like I have my own thing. I ain't
Poetic, who was it for you?
Man, for me, it's Maya Angelou. I've been writing poetry since I was like 14 years old. And the whole reason why I started writing was my mom passed when I was 14. My grandmother 5 months before my mom. So I didn't have an outlet to be able to just talk to people because people just didn't understand, you know. But I knew that my books would understand, my writings, my pen and my pad would understand. And the first time I heard Maya Angelou, I was like, man, she is very articulate. The way that she writes, the way that she flows. And I just remember saying one day, I said, man, I would love to write like her someday. I would just love to write like her someday. And I'm nowhere near her level. I will never claim to be anywhere near her level, but I strive to be as great as she was every single day because she, with her words, she sparked change. And I feel like that every poem I write, if I can spark change in one person, I've done my job as a poet. Because I say all the time, I write my poetry for me, but the people that hear it and read it are the beneficiaries of it.
And also I wanted to add too is I feel like even listening to Chuck D and stuff and all these other speakers and leaders who's having poetry in motion, I felt like being a voice of the people. I'm gonna talk that talk, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say what I say. And that's just from the upbringing, you know what I'm saying? Like Poetic say, my father died when I was 13. You know what I'm saying? So I found that outlet. I'll be writing on the train, going to high school and everything like that. After I left junior high school, I write anywhere on the bus. I didn't care people standing over me, but that was my outlet, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like I needed something to bring out of myself because of the hurt and pain. But I didn't write about the hurt and the pain. I just used that energy to just get things out of myself or whatever, whether rapping and rhyming and stuff like that. So I've just become very, very good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With others passing away too. My mother passed away when I was 21. You know what I'm saying? So grandmother passed away at older age. You know what I mean? So, you grab onto that energy. You know what I mean? So, and my aunt, she always told me, like, don't write about sadness. You know what I mean? If you're going to, you better not be no Debbie Downer. I don't want to hear that shit. I was like, she was ruthless though, but she was on the money. You know what I'm saying? Just you try to bring forth enlightenment. I mean, so
I know that's a balance right there. For Poetic and King doing hosting shows and getting poets lined up with understanding, and I know that Epiphany does this with having a topic for the night. But then when you have those days when it's open mic and you may have like 4 or 5 poets come through with this amazing energy, and then somebody come and they don't know it. I mean, they're speaking their truth and they're going to speak how they feel and going to speak about and kick what their particular writing is about at that particular time. But they just suck all the energy out the room.
And and sometimes, and you know what, sometimes that's necessary though. Sometimes it's necessary because we're not the only ones listening.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the only ones listening, and because it's a recorded playback, and someone can go back and listen to it later, you never know who might be going through some of the same things that you're going through, and they hear that, and it's like a wake-up call. it's like, you know, because when you listen, when you think of hip hop songs that discuss pain, like Renee by the Lost Boys, that's pain. That song is nothing but pain.
Yeah.
Happiness, but it's about pain. It's about what
Mhm.
happened. And when you hear that, you can't help but to be engrossed in that. Hell, one of my favorite rappers is Tupac from the
I was
Above
just
the
about to say that.
Rim. He got this song called Pain. And when I took about
Yeah.
your pain, it runs deep. Share with
Share with me.
He go in and I be sucked in. I'm like, yeah.
I know.
You know, sometimes it's necessary. And I tell anybody, listen, if you at a place of pain, hey man, write that out. Because pain will produce some of your best stuff.
That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you said that, poet, because I literally just looked over to, like, I always have my poetry on the screen. And when y'all was talking, I have a line in there that says, as I turn my pain into art, Lord, you've been there from the start. And it's just like, it fell right into line with y'all was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I know what I'm doing is from on high.
Yeah, and the open mic, man, listen. Them open mic nights be special. They be so special because you never know what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
And me, when we had that on the get down, me and J Rob was like, man, I wish I'd have wrote that. But it be some of the most dynamic poetry. Like last night on your show, King, I did a piece from my spiritual side.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was dope.
And man, I love when God takes my pen and he just start writing. I know it's not me.
Yes.
I know it's not me because he just take it and he just go. And I just like, and when it's done, I'll be like,
what just happened?
I wasn't me.
Yeah.
But you them open mic nights, man, they be so special, man. I love open mics. But I like the topics too now to tie you down to get you out of your comfort zone. Right?
You know me, I'm the master on that one.
because when you I don't get locked into one area when it comes to my poetry. And as an artist, you shouldn't be locked into just one thing. You should have one thing that's a signature. But you should not be afraid to venture off into something else because you are an artist.
Mm-hmm.
The only way for art to happen is if you create it.
Right.
So step outside yourself and create that masterpiece.
You got to challenge your pen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, even though I might come up with the topic, that don't mean that it's A1 for me. I'm like, okay, now which way do I go with this joint?
Right.
So I allow spirit to just guide me and I just like, okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I write stuff and be like this. Damn, did I write that?
Well, once I'm done writing a piece, I never go back over until I'm ready to spit it. Because I do that because I want you to get that emotion as raw as I felt it when I wrote it. I don't want to rehearse it. I don't want to practice it. I just want to deliver it. So once I'm done writing, I never go back over it.
I want to ask you a question, Poetic. I know that King has done this plenty of times, and I know, basically of your personality, kind of what the answer is going to be. But I want to ask you, how do you feel about duet poetry?
Oh.
All right. Let's get into it. I think duet poetry is great, right? I think it's great. However, we call it a collab, right? Now, what's interesting is today, most people write a whole piece and then somebody else write a whole piece and it's considered a collab. But a true, authentic collab is I give you some verses, you give verses back to me. I give you some verses, you give more verses back to me. That's a true collab where we're having like a poetic conversation.
Right.
That's a duet. Because when you hear a musical duet, right, in the traditional sense of the word, you hear a male verse or a female verse first, and then the male verse come in, and the female verse come in. So I love collabs. I don't do enough of them, but I love to do a lot more. But my idea of a collab is I'm gonna give you some verses. Here's a topic. I'm gonna give you some verses. Now you write what you feel, send it back to me, and then I'm gonna give you some of what I feel. Like that.
Yo, I got a question, Poe, real quick. You ever came across somebody that was just whack when you did a collab?
Yeah.
Like what is this?
Man, listen.
What am I to do with
That's
this
not
one?
politically correct, King. Nobody's whack.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
It's-
Excuse me, y'all. Well,
let's
you ever
change
came
it.
across a poet that you did a collaboration
Having
with?
a hard time.
Yeah, where you just couldn't connect the dots with the lines.
That happens. That happens a lot because you try to make sure that you're on the same page, right? So I've had moments where I've written first and I've gotten stuff back that's not even comparable to what I've written. I'm like, are we together on this? Or we are in a whole different zone. Now, several years ago, I'm one of those kinds of poets where if I've listened to you long enough, I can write a piece and match your style, your delivery style, your cadence.
Good.
Because I'm a fan. When I tell you I'm a fan of poetry, especially if I'm into your work, oh man, I will write a piece. Like I wrote several pieces and had other people perform them, and those pieces were written in the style that they would perform. And but when it comes to them collabs, man, listen. Sometimes you got to do a reset. Because I had worked with a sister and I sent her a piece, and all she does is erotic. All she does is erotic. I says, okay. I says, I'll tell you what. I said, you keep your erotic, and I'll be the love side of the erotic. Because you can't have eroticism without love. Otherwise, it's just lust.
Well, since this is the poetry corner, how about we get into some piece? Spit a piece.
Man, what?
Spit a piece.
What?
PC, brother. PC.
Ooh. All right. Ladies first, or what? I mean,
I could go first, or whatever King says.
Gay Queen Latifah. Ooh, ladies first.
Hey, that's who I really should have. That's who I really should have said, because I definitely wrote about her back in the 90s. Well, since there's been my little introduction, I'm gonna read my introduction tonight.
Hey, Carmen.
Hey, Carmen.
Yeah, she definitely was trying
What's
to
up,
get in, but it was
Carmen?
a little late.
She's family. She could have came in.
Could
have sent her the link.
Yeah, I ain't know. Like I said, it was supposed to be the host show, but we good out here. She already know.
It's a little hot for this hat, y'all. It's got to come off.
It's all right. So I introduced myself as Sister Testimony. Bear with me as I have something to say, and bow your heads as I pray. Creating inspiration through my situation, giving spiritual metaphors as I pour from my core. God, I thank you for the freedom of speech. From these words, the souls you'll reach. For gifts and callings come without repentance. Your Holy Ghost restful abides in every sentence. So on today, I surrender my will. Father, select the effectual words needed to heal. Lord, bless those under the sound of my voice, that those words may be lifted up and that they may rejoice. Lord, cover those who struggle day to day and who have lost the words to say. When they come undone, let them come to you. Lord, wash them through and through. Lord, you be the glue, be the adhesive, and let them be bonded to you. We know this world can leave us cold and alone. Blanket them as they kneel at your throne. As they confess and submit their will to yours, Lord, I ask that you break the chains and open the spiritual doors. As they come into your world and they start to explore, let the words edify as you are lifted high. Let your spirit fall and you be glorified. As I turn my pain into art, Lord, you've been there from the very start. Tonight, I present myself as Sister Testimony, and in Jesus' name, I pray.
I love that. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, that's what's up.
That's what's up right there.
Who going next?
Poetic.
All right. This is one of my most recent pieces. I was in a mood when I wrote this, so it's called "Please Touch Me." I just want to be touched like I matter. Your fingers making love to my skin so constantly my emotions scatter. Scatter in such a way I get pleased just by the thought of you. Trusting my instincts and my gut that the sincerity of your truth is really true. The absence of your presence remind me of an abnormal distance. I just need to feel your lips pressed against mine. So I know everything in my reality is fine. Or even just a simple hug. Filled with so much dedication, I just shrug. Shrug at the idea that you and I no longer share this connection. We no longer look into each other's eyes for mirrored reflection. Wondering why I just can't be touched like I matter to you or just someone. Someone that won't walk out on me because I'm their one. I'm their person they can't live without. To them, there's no doubt that I really am so into you. I'm so in love with you. And all your flaws too. I know it's true. I know you're something special. I wish I knew I was that for you, and it's crucial. So crucial that you know I just wished I mattered that much. That there would be a loving purpose in your touch. I wish I could just have one last kiss. Just once more, a simple kiss from the mind of pathetic.
All right, bro. All right. Here we go. Another time around the world. That's what's up, man.
All right, come on, King.
Well, I'm gonna recite this poem. I don't think I ever recited it. It's from my first book. It's called Next Time Around. Allow yourself to be pampered by the words that I say. Take a walk and hold my hands. It's date night at the bay. Be at ease and feel the breeze as the waves hit the shore. Open the door to nature's law. Be my mi amor. When's the last time you felt so good without touching? Ancient way of hugging and loving, displaying something. Gently kiss your wrists and lips with no intent. Absorbing your lovely scent, caress your face, astonishing. Let's catch the fever bash and some flavor of each other. Be that special kind of friend who can melt you like butter. Freshen up your emotions and take your heart. Rekindle the spark, brighten your light if it's dim or dark. Your Chico, my chica, when I don't see you, I miss you. Pretending around people that we're cordial and civil. The woman that you are, very appealing to me. Ever a possibility, you bring the man out to be. Touching your fingertips, showing what you can get, getting caught in each other's mix till we both lovesick. Curing each other's lonely days can really be great. Enticing each other's wave, placing ourselves in God's rays. Sunshine, peace of mind, stay in line until it's time. You can tell me that you want to be more than what we are fine, King.
Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir, bro.
Yes.
Okay, now.
Yeah, that was a Billy Ocean moment.
Dope, bro. Dope.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, the Los Angeles West Side Connection, that's something special every Thursday. I mean, it's 11 p.m. at night on the East Coast, Eastern time. But tune in. It's phenomenal. I mean, if you can stay up and witness that greatness, it's beautiful. Now, I said Poetry Corner, that's a whole different beast. I'm about to make some real beautiful changes. It's going to be great. And stick around Monday nights. So Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We got it here. And as I said, Sister Monet will be hosting the King's Pop-Up show with me. So welcome her to the addition to the family. So we got some beautiful things coming. Trust and believe. It's gonna be popping. Let's Talk is the home, so let's give it up for Let's Talk, the home base. You know what I mean? And thank you to Q, the producer, making all this happen. And click like and subscribe to the channel. Get all the notifications of what's going on. Poetry Corner, baby. Poetry Corner. Anybody have any last words for everybody out there in the Poetry Corner universe?
Hey, man, listen. If y'all ain't liked, subscribed, and shared by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. Because we're going someplace, and we love for you to come with us.
Same.
That's right. Well, peace, love, and poetry. See y'all next week. We out of here.